Everybody, all of our listeners are, enormous gamers and have definitely played the new Multiverses game, right?
I mean, a lot of people are. I know that it's incredibly popular. I'm very lame and I don't play video games. I'm too busy, spending time on fantasy football and then losing instead of enjoying myself. So
if you have the Xbox Games Pass, then you have played Multiverses, because who the fuck is going to pay $60 for every single brand new game that comes out? But hey, don't worry, all that money that you spend on Games Pass is worth it, because Velma will no longer call the police on opponents in Multiverses.
It's very weird that Velma would allow you to get swatted in real life just because that person lost.
Yeah, she doesn't call the police on the character in game, no. She calls the police on you.
Yeah, it was like a very small, almost unnoticed storyline in the whole Keffels situation that was developing, but it was a Multiverses game gone horribly, horribly wrong, I think, is what was developing. What would inspire programmers to think that it would be a cool super would be to have someone calling the cops? Why would that be someone's special move in general?
Are we sure that the studio didn't hire that guy that wrote the manifest before leaving Google about how women and minorities are being preferred over white men in the workplace?
Oh, but see, then it would be one of the things where Velma couldn't call the police on LeBron because he's black, the wokeism. It would be like, wow, deflected.
It actually fries your computer if you try that.
You're not allowed.
It's the red ring of death, but it just says racist in it. It doesn't allow you.
Racist.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode from the Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm Zach, he, they.
I'm Kelton, he, him.
I'm Chris Murphy, he, him.
There we go.
Hey there, Chris.
Said with complete confidence. I look forward to you and your journey of gender exploration later. Really pausing and wondering, who am I? What will I be? What is the nature of man? And who wouldn't ponder these large questions on National Cream-Filled Donut Day? That's right. I'm back in action. I'm in the zone today, everyone. I remember it because it's probably the horniest donut type, right? Is there a less horny donut?
We've been having some crazy national holidays, and, I, for one, am just happy to clear my mind and think of nothing but thick cream.
Just glazed over you. Is that what you want?
That's what I want. I want to be filled with cream, I think. From the donuts?
From actual Bavarians.
From Bavarians, okay.
The dream.
Disgusting.
The dream, the goal.
I bit into a Boston cream pie and just started saying slurs after I.
Oh my god! Against people from Boston, right?
Yeah.
Bit into a Boston cream pie and suddenly you were a single mom with 2 kids.
Aww.
Speaking of Boston, and I guess of strong Irish cities that are taking place, man, what a time for us to have released an episode last week, huh? As we were talking about, nothing really happened in the news. The immediate next day, the Queen of England died. Congratulations. Breaking news, you heard it here first. 7-8 days after the fact.
Congratulations to all the free territories of the former British Empire.
To those who celebrate a happy dead Queen of England Day, to you, to yous and yours. I do love seeing all the different corporations and sports leagues that are just giving their own commentaries, talking about a moment of silence, what a great woman, blah, blah, blah. Because that has trickled down into the fan pages and us getting artwork like Kobe Bryant doing one-on-one basketball with the Queen of England and just absolutely shattering her ankles because, Kobe stands are still gonna stand Kobe, like regardless.
It's pretty interesting to see the Queen of England's value like come down as we reach like RGB levels of like, oh, the Queen, wow, what a great woman.
Man, that one guy who got hashtag feminist as like a clavicle tattoo, and then also got like RGB on one bicep and the Queen of England on the other, just having a real rough day right now.
He got the feminism tattoo to cover up the no regrets tattoo that he had there.
It's true. No regrets, and then feminism right underneath it. And so then it really looks like a confusing message all the way through.
Disgusting. To everybody celebrating the Queen's death, thank you.
Keep it up.
For your service.
Keep it up.
Surely there are GoFundMes to see what the longest party we can have for the dead Queen of England is.
128-hour Twitch live stream, Dead Queen time. Let's go. It is going to be, I think, pretty fun. It's also weird to think of like how fast someone of that quote unquote importance can die and then immediately become commodified and then move on. Because it wasn't even like 8 hours later that you had the McDonald's kiosks just going like, oh yes, God bless the Queen. Anyways, do you want a Big Mac and a large fry with your order? Like it just the eternal wheel just keeps on moving. And so like that's going to be someone's like main legacy. Isn't it bizarre that this member of royalty appeared on this fast food chain?
Queen Conda.
That's the one I want. Is my commemorative condoms for the death of Elizabeth II.
See, I was thinking it would be like those McDonald's kids plates that they would give, like when a Disney movie would come out. But it would just be like R.I.P. the Queen.
The McDonald's plates that like had like lead in the paint on them.
Listen, it just increased the flavor. Okay,
it turns you into like an inbred moron, like everyone in the royal family.
Oh, let's go. That's true. It was so that you could be matching.
Yes, and just real quick before I forget as well, the voice that you're hearing, as we mentioned and was introduced to y'all before, is in fact our good buddy Chris Murphy. Chris, you work at Collider. You are like a pop culture connoisseur, and you have brave takes online. Like Anna de Armas is hot. How do you exist in this world?
Let me tell you, that was a tough one. I really wrestled with whether or not I should announce that, and in the end, I looked at a few pictures, and I really came to terms with, yeah, I would. I think I would.
Got it. Well, again, the windfall that you have created of the movement of people just opening up and feeling the courage to also admit that Anna de Armas is in fact attractive. Just, I think that it's something that we can all really get behind here for those who might feel afraid themselves, because I think a lot of people might be growing up in some smaller sheltered environments and they think like, can I really be my true self? Can I open up? Maybe I can find space online where other people will have the courage to talk about how Anna de Armas is hot. Yeah, it's comforting, I think, in a lot of different ways. Zach, you just watched Blade Runner 2049 and you fell in love with her yourself, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I would be sated in the fantasy world that universe proposes to me.
It's just nice because while y'all were watching, actually good films, I was watching like Morbius and Moonfall and the Elvis movie and Thor 4. And let me tell you, oh boy.
Okay, Thor Love and Thunder, you mean?
Thor 4. Thor Love and Thunder. It's the fourth one. I'm not gonna what am I supposed to?
I still haven't. My friends even watched Morbius like in the Discord during movie night, and I just didn't watch it.
Again, a braver human being than I could possibly be.
Did you laugh at the goats? I heard that there was like goat bleeding, but 50 times in the movie.
Yeah, I guess if you weren't around on the internet like 8 years ago, and you were like, haha, yes, indeed. It was one of those things of where I'm like, this isn't that funny, and then, oh, I guess it is kind of funny. and then like they did it one more time. It's like a toddler realizing that they just said something funny, of where you're like, okay. Oh, okay. You have like a sense of humor. I'm almost proud of you for that. And then it's like, oh, you're just doing this because you have nothing else going on. Huh. Okay. Got it. I'm very excited that we can have Chris on for this week's program, because we have a lot of just wild movie news that I just want to talk to you about, and hold you as a member of the Hollywood corporate media machine accountable, sir.
I really hope Collider has no idea I'm doing this.
For free, you know?
Yeah. Like, what did you say about Anna de Armas? No, I don't think
top 10 films where you can realize that Anna de Armas is hot. The first movie that I really wanted to talk about came from D23, and it's trailer drop for the latest Little Mermaid film. And it's the trailer included watching the new Little Mermaid singing a song, and seems like just like another generic, sterile Disney remake. But this is lighting the world on fire, and golly gosh, I can't imagine why. Do y'all have any clues? Can you unravel this massive mystery, this glass onion, a Knives Out mystery coming soon in December 2022?
Really, there's only like two options for why it's like going to be super, a super controversial update to a classic film. The first one is that maybe they're doing it in space.
Okay.
Second option is that the Little Mermaid's love interest is now a female.
Oh, Prince Erica.
Yes,
I think is how they're
there you go.
Go with it.
Those are the only two options.
Firing from the hip. I'm in full blown dad mode. I was like, I got these character names done, and I mean, just to give some people some frames of reference here about like when trailers first come out, Beauty and the Beast had like 300,000 people liking the trailer and then 1,000 people disliking. Lion King had 774,000 liking it and 45,000 disliking it. When the Little Mermaid teaser trailer came out, 242,000 people did like it, but 1 million people disliked it, and I can't help but think that it's probably because of racism, at least partly as part of it.
Interesting.
I know it's a bold stance.
What are they
I mean,
racist against like some of the. Is there like one of the side characters that does like some of the classic songs that we all remember from Little Mermaid?
Oh yes, it's definitely that's what they're taking offense at. They're mad at the racism and portrayal of Jamaican crab characters. Especially since it's one of the Queen's territories that's doing this.
It's just the British Isles. All of these downloads
like
are
this.
only from the British Isles.
How could you release this film at a time like this? We are in mourning right now. No, it's just people mad at the Little Mermaid for actually being black, which is the stupidest reason to be mad at a film for. Because like you could be mad at it for having bullshit special effects and having it just kind of look overly generic and completely washed out of color. Because I mean, like in the screenshot that is available for us to look at for reference, I challenge people to ask, like, is this from a $200 million Disney movie, or is this from the Broadway musical version of The Little Mermaid? Because it looks almost indistinguishable from each other.
I'm sure they use like the colors pop on the Broadway one. I don't.
There's not the dark grease film smear. They're like, oh, it means they're underwater right now. Yeah. I mean, I like the Aquaman movie in a lot of ways, but I do think it would be very funny if in this Little Mermaid live action, all of the audio was them just singing as if they would sound like they were underwater, just with the gurgling and the muffledness. Again, just really commit to that, I think, is what could be needed.
Have you guys ever seen one of those like backwater, like it's like actual real woman in like the mermaid costumes, and they have the hoses that like they go underwater and dance, but they have the hoses to
Oh
breathe
yeah,
through.
yeah.
That's what I hope it's like every 20 seconds, like Ariel's gotta be, oh God, almost didn't make it.
I mean, it's better than my interpretation, which would be like this mermaid exists the way it does, but it's a mammal, and so it has a massive blowhole on the back. So occasionally, just has to come up for water and just spout.
It's called a blowhole, Kelton. They have a pile of cocaine at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, come on.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. I was going very, very like David Cronenberg-esque with the body horror element, but I suppose that's fine.
Oh yeah, you see her cloaca, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the opening shot, it's all one shot where we eventually the camera emerges from the cloaca as we watch Ariel be birthed.
King Trident just crop dusting 1,000 eggs. It's a numbers game. But it is weird to see because there's another Disney movie that's going to be coming out later this year where the underwater looks very vibrant and colorful. And that's, of course, Avatar 2. Again, let's not forget that's a Disney movie because Disney owns everything. But you would think that they would at least try and have a similar level of vibrancy for this.
You'd think that if they were remaking something classic like The Little Mermaid, that it would be done with our age group in mind. But it's definitely not, because they're definitely not spending enough money to make it look good underwater.
But do kids like muted colors? Like, I don't know.
Do kids like musicals? Like, I don't know I don't know if a child is like looking at this and going, "Oh my gosh, wow, look at that vignette and look at like how they're obscuring like the background so that we can focus on this shot of Halle Berry." Like, it's
the most miserable child with the longest, thinnest cigarette you can possibly imagine.
He found his grandmother's cigarette holder and doesn't even have a cigarette in it. He just holds the cigarette holder.
I like how it makes me feel.
Biden took everything from me, even the Little Mermaid. I have to wait till I'm 21 to buy tobacco legally. God damn it.
I'm not going to see this in theaters, but shocker.
I'm definitely going to see Avatar in theaters, though.
I mean, yeah, but I'm.
If I could see Avatar on an epic dose of mushrooms in theaters, I would. But alas, I am far too old.
No, you're never too old to like have a soul shearing moment as you watch like Jake Worthington's Jake Sully have a heart to heart like with his daughter. That you're like, oh, she's also blue. Oh, they're one people. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, it's so nice.
The ushers are like trying to pull you back into the seat. You're just fighting them, just swinging punches at.
I want to be with them. I want to swim.
God, please.
Take me to Pandora.
Getting lost trying to get into the theater, but still somehow making it to the showing because there's there's an hour of commercials beforehand, so it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there.
Zach leaves the theater and is backstroke swimming through the parking lot, just sliding and crawling around.
Physics don't make sense, just like the weird like savior complex of this film didn't make sense. But we're going to make it through it.
I think it's very funny if you do take the shrooms, you somehow don't ever make it to the theater, but as you get back, you're like, guys, Avatar Way of Water was great. They're like, what is he? His ticket's right here. What is he talking about?
The 45-minute sequence at the Waffle House was amazing.
It's incredible.
You don't understand. I lived it. Look, I have pictures. What are you doing in Galveston Bay with a mermaid?
Oh my God, Disney got it right. They're completely accurate. The waters are muted. The colors, my God. Oh Yeah, I also just like the idea of just getting trapped in an aquarium and thinking that you're stuck inside the world.
It's pictures in my phone of me in the aquarium downtown.
It's all fun and games until like you're holding your breath, terrified because you feel like you are not going to be able to escape. Yes, so that's our summation of a review for Avatar. Too many references to Galveston Bay in Texas. But congratulations. We rank it 4 out of 5 Waffle Houses.
Because that's how many will still be open. If only 1 in every 5 Waffle Houses shut down, then it was not a big enough film release.
The disaster scale that they use, yeah. Disney also unveiled that for Captain America 4, or as Zach would probably prefer me call it, Captain America New World Order.
Yeah, we use the real names of the movies, not their...
I'm sorry.
They're all released out of order is the problem, okay? So let me pull up my whiteboard, actually.
The full MCU timeline, as explained by Zach, high on mushrooms, having seen only about half of the films. Trying to tie it all together. But yeah, so Captain America 4 has cast an Israeli superhero named Sabra. This kind of made waves, not because it's a Jewish female superhero, although much like with Ariel, like the wrong kinds of toxic fans are very mad about that. But Sabra was is rather a Mossad agent who actively engaged in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, who in her first major comic book appearance admitted to not seeing dead Arab children as human beings until the Hulk had like a one-on-one talk with her. So, just kind of feels like a quasi-fascistic, imperialist kind of superhero, aka like right in line with a new Captain America movie.
The fact that this hero's name is Sabra tells me that Sabra, the company, 100% paid for this entire film.
Is that what your game plan is? What do you think Sabra's next step is going to do?
Well, they do hummus and guacamole. Now they're on to MCU films.
No, I refuse. It's just there's a hard cut to them all just like sharing hummus. But you're going to have to tell me your family's recipe. Wow, cool.
They turn to the camera. Well, we go and we only we trust Sabra to feed our family. Nothing but the best.
Locally sourced ingredients from our olive trees because they've always been ours and only ours. It says so in the Bible. You know, the thing that we still follow on in the MCU where Thanos is real, aliens are real, there's a giant Eternals arm sticking out of the earth that no one talks about. But yeah, sure. Fucking go for it. Israel and Palestine still is a thing.
It's going to go from like conflict in the Middle East to like people just literally packing lunches so that there's product placement.
I really am not looking forward to the overseas commercials because you're absolutely right. They are going to have a whole bunch of tie-ins with things. So
cool. Can't wait for the Hulk he's going to do his little bit with the tacos, but with like some celery and hummus. It's going to be great.
No, it's going to be Sam Wilson selling dessert chocolate hummus because, subtlety, you see.
Chocolate. I just
listen. People can get mad at me for that, but I think we all know that it's true. Like they're not gonna have Bucky Barnes try and sell the chocolate hummus.
I want to be a fly on the wall when the Hulk explains the Palestinian stuff.
Because he's Smart Hulk now, right? So he's the one that has to explain everything because Tony can't.
Oh, I was hoping it was big dumb. He's like, the new Holocaust.
Wait. So Bruce is smart, but Hulk is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Hulk just asking questions. Hulk wondering.
Oh God, no.
Hulk look into Bilderberg's and Rothschild relationship and wondering why so many call out on 9/11. Why?
And then he goes back to Bruce. He's like, "Oh man, it's like it's like getting drunk." He's like, "I'm so sorry. I just, it's the gamma radiation."
Hulk posting on 8kun trying to rally people together.
Hulk's favorite platform is still Tumblr, though.
Oh, is that the Hulk's favorite thing? He just likes scrolling the aesthetic photos.
Yeah, all the Punisher skulls and the boomer quotes
On Tumblr. Is that what Tumblr is now?
I don't know, but I'm certain
Yahoo bought it?
certain there's something like that on Tumblr.
I would hate that little Etsy-fied Punisher skulls, like live, laugh, love Punisher skulls, especially since the Punisher is a real person in the MCU. So like he's looking at actual Punisher fan cams, basically taking off.
having like all these weird superheroes come out of the woodwork. Like we need
Really, what makes them weird, Zach? Go on. 100 words or less.
Sorry, having all of these questionable superheroes, coming out of the woodwork. It feels like we need more like Spider-Man side characters, where they're like the side characters are just like super fans of all this stuff, and like the storylines where they like deduce that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Oh yeah, is that the idea? Being like, oh hey, so it literally can only be him. He's the only person around. But if we say anything to him, he will pull funding from all of our institutions, and we have become reliant on his donations. So.
And we here at Sabra really need the Bruce Wayne money.
So we are going to strategically release several mentally ill patients and dress them up in fanciful costumes so our billionaire benefactor can just beast the shit out of them and call himself a Capes Crusader. Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, honestly, that I guess is the most accurate part about Batman, right? Like, if a billionaire watched his parents die in front of him, he would be a little fucked up, just gremlin monster person.
I mean, reframing all of Bruce Wayne through like a WWE like lens, and then it gets played back to the rest of the world to let everyone know that you can't mess with Gotham.
Gotham strong. It's what people started. I mean, like, there's a lot of thin blue line stuff in Gotham City that's taking place. Like, with all the supervillains running around, oh my god, Commissioner Gordon is probably just a monster in that kind of thing.
He's a monster when it comes to selling merch. Over $3 billion that they have managed to make off of, what's that, Letterman jackets? You'd best believe it. Gotham City's biggest industry is not the supervillains it produces, but the T-shirts that they send out.
I'm terrified at the idea of Gotham just becoming like an adventure destination, like like how certain parts of Africa are, like for dentists to go out and
hunt wild animals.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing. Like, if you're slightly upper middle class, you can cosplay as a superhero for a weekend and just go hunt people down, most dangerous game style.
Oh
yeah.
My god.
Be like, oh no, Bane's army is attacking the city. Come on, only you can stop him. Molar Man? Like, yes, that's me. I'm Molar Man. Dentist by day, drill sergeant by night. I don't know. I can only carry.
Sergeant. That's pretty good. I don't know what exactly, but it's really resonating with me right now. With all this extra space in my mouth.
Oh, that's true. I forget. Do you want to let our listeners know?
Oh yeah, I'm on massive pain pills right now.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Codeine pills. I was expecting.
Oh no! You have to seem cool in front of our younger audience, Zach.
Sorry,
you're just on pain
lean.
pills.
I'm sipping lean.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, just for fun too.
Yeah, you also had a birthday, so
It's been a
you're
hell
getting
of a-
older. Your teeth are falling
hell of a
out.
2 months. Like had COVID, had my birthday, had to get my wisdom teeth out. I also like after switching to a new gym, like I apparently just have ringworm on my body for no fucking reason.
You're battling 18th century diseases.
Look,
You're gonna come out and be like, so Legionnaires is a real problem these days.
Look, New York
I
City.
died of cholera.
Please. New York City, the Brooklyn podcasts are fighting polio. I'll take ringworm. Okay, I'll take ringworm.
At this time, we'd like to thank all of our patrons for their continued support of the show. Y'all helped turn the Psychic Dolphin Garage into a Psychic Dolphin home. Specifically, we wanted to thank Scott, Tim, Frater LVD, Jorge, Rufus, not a mole rat, Eli, Melwin, Dr. Sophia, Olive Lotion Wizard, Alex, Lizzie, Broops, ASM Marxist, Dylan, Kira, Cody, Comrade Kometka, Nicole, Pizza Poss, Ian, Knightley, Drew, CJ, Jacob, Philip, and the Humidifier. Now, if you want to give us a couple bucks a month and listen to an extra bonus episode every week, head on over to patreon.com/Psychic Dolphin Garage. Thanks. Big story that we got this week. It's not Texas. It's not Texas news. I'm so
I
sorry.
feel like
I'm so sorry.
This is like a fine week off, right? Like the Queen died. We deserve to sit back and like not have
we can celebrate
a Hell World episode.
No, again, we can just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, we can talk about how there are still juvenile prisons in Texas that are imprisoning their children up to 22 hours a day, treating them worse than shelter dogs. But no one wants to know about that while the Queen is dead.
We can talk about that until we're blue in the face because we haven't talking about that since the Trump presidency. Did that?
Since a lot of those like incarcerated children, weren't legal adults, is the way it goes.
Strange.
But listen, we are here to talk about even more pressing issues than that, and that is corporations, specifically film companies, changing things over in post. After they release a film, companies like Disney, like HBO, like Netflix will go in and adjust the movie to try and fix the CGI, fix the errors, and treat it more like a living document. And I don't know if this is like my conservative upbringing or not, but like I believe in things being static once they are released. Like that is the version that you put out. If you want a new version, call it the director's cut, call it the extended cut, call it something else, but don't, fix the CGI from your weird floating head scene Thor and then expect everyone to just be like, yes, that was the real version. It has always been that version with the creepy floating head.
It was always the real version. It's scope creep. This is like the worst scope creep I've ever seen in my life. Like this is like we're just giving movie executives like blank slates to keep adding things that they want to the movie even after it's done. Even after it's like you sit down, you plan it out, you're like, this is the release date, everything has to be done by this date. And then afterwards they start changing their mind and like being like, oh, we want this, and this. And you can just keep doing it for forever. Because you know what? You already have all those producers. You already have all these production studios like tied into contracts to only you because there's only like 3 filmmakers in the entire United States these days.
I mean, that's what they did with Stranger Things. Remember when the latest, I think it's season 4, part 2 came out? Maybe it's part 5. I'm not sure. Regardless, like when that part came out, they were like, all right, don't rush to the end, everyone. We're still working on the effect shots in certain scenes for the final episode. It's just like, what the fuck, guys? What is happening? And then they fixed it. And this has made me realize that, like, now the best way to watch movies is like with video games. Like, you get it like 6 months after the fact once they've fixed all of the bugs and they've gotten like the first DLC and it's half price but twice the game.
You always wait for the DLC to come out and then you wait for the DLC bundle where the first DLC is already with the game.
See, I think then it would be fun is if what happens we used to get hundreds of versions of the same movie, like skins in a video game. You're like, all right, yeah, hey, honey, tonight, why don't we watch the bikini version of Avatar: Way of Water?
They rendered it, and the whole time they don't have like the Na'vi clothing. It's just like bikinis.
I do like the idea of watching like kids mode Avatar, adult mode Avatar.
Yeah, NC-17 for the hardcore fans.
It's extreme hair tangling is what you get. I just also am just kind of wondering about how, with things being so liquid, like how do we actually credit performers and how do we credit editors and things, because they can just fix the parts that audiences don't like in post. If people are saying like, oh man, that's an awful line read in a particular scene, well, yeah, they can re-edit it and get it fixed if that's what they really wanted.
That's the dream. And I mean,
is it the dream? Like, it feels like that's kind of like taking out what makes it actual art and just turns it into like product.
Yeah. I mean, that's the dream for studios, I should say, rather.
Oh yeah.
Is
sorry.
that you get to attenuate your film to even specific audiences. Like, you know that there's different versions of this film for different audiences already. Like, the big thing that social media does is that it has different things for different audiences. Like, you don't get Spanish language TikToks on your For You page.
Speak for yourself, racist.
I gotta search them out, unfortunately.
Yeah, like like your Facebook posts are mostly in English because that's what they're gonna provide to you. Like there's 100%. Like we're gonna get to the point where all of our consumption is so micro segmented that we're not even going to actually watch the same Thor. You're gonna get Thor 4, and I'm gonna get Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay, yours will say Thor 4.
Oh my god! Oh, they're gonna know me. They're gonna be like, this guy fucking hates it. When we try and pretend that it's not part of a larger franchise.
This piece of shit. You know what? But he'll consume it.
I will. Like the little greedy slot pig I am. Because I'll go, yes, I am mildly hungover on a Sunday. And yes, this does seem like a blissful 2 hours of silence. And then the screaming goats happen. Jesus fuck. God damn it. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
And not to make it like a bigger thing, but this
is
also like this is also like what quiet quitting is about. Like, this is literally the definition of just like stay and keep working on this and keep adding scope and keep adding stuff. And we're going to just continually like produce this until it's absolutely dead. It's also the Skyrim model. So
Cyberpunk model.
That's true.
I mean, every video
game. It's the video game model 100%. And like, if we're okay with doing it for video games, then I guess we'd be okay with doing it for movies. And then you just re-release your same film that did really bad in 2020 and 2022, and we all go watch it in theaters because, again, we're greedy little slop pigs.
Exactly. The second they're like, yeah, actually the CGI is pretty great. This is how I know like they will get me. This is how. I watched Jurassic World 3, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care. I'm sorry, Zach. Jurassic World 3, I watched that, but I watched the extended version. It was like 20 minutes longer.
Okay.
But it had all of the all of the stuff, but it also had all of the same like VFX shots and stuff. Like, it was still a completed movie, and they had it all fixed. And I thought, well, that movie is a lot better, at least in my opinion, than what it seemed like the reviews for Jurassic World 3 actually would make me seem. But I realized this because I watched the extended version. If they just said, well, this is Jurassic World 3, that's it. Because you're not in theaters. You're not hampered by, like, okay, we need to try and get it under 2.5 hours. But if instead they said, like, this is just the version that's online, it would make me go, like, why are people hating on this movie? This movie is pretty good. And not know like where something might have gone wrong. If does that make sense? Like, it's going to create this Mandela effect, I think, because
Yeah.
If they're fixing VFX shots, why wouldn't they add in like the scenes that might make a story a little bit more cohesive? Or like, and then if you're doing that, why not add the C-level plot that helps make more jokes ring true?
That's true.
Like,
I mean, at that point, just release like, Jurassic Park the movie, and then like, the 3 additional episodes. I mean, shit, Evangelion has gotten away with adding like 17 more movies.
I mean, The Sandman. Did either of y'all see The Sandman TV show?
No, I didn't.
No.
Okay, that's completely fine. I made it through 1 episode, then I bailed. I'm so sorry. I understand it's like a fantastic TV show. I understand that a lot of people didn't like it because it like made like a black woman character. That's not why I didn't watch it. It just seemed slow and overly British for me. I couldn't handle it. But they added like an extra episode at the end. Like they're like, haha. And it's like, okay, I mean, I guess, and that's kind of fine. But why not just release like all 11 episodes at the same time? Other than like the effect shots weren't done.
It's like they're trying to recreate the feeling of YouTube series and the feeling of like a YouTube artist releasing stuff, but on their own platform and for an established like art form.
Limited time only until the Sandman from The Sandman, I'm not sure what his actual name is, calls the audience and says, please like and subscribe. Like, please click the thumbs up button in your Netflix queue to show that you enjoy this series.
That was like that stupid that series that you would watch and you would like make choices and it was like interactive.
Bandersnatch?
Yeah, Bandersnatch.
Number one, it wasn't stupid. It was groundbreaking.
Okay, all right.
Groundbreaking,
All right,
I tell you.
You're right. Like,
he realized he was in a video game, and then he killed himself. And it was all your fault.
Oh, my God. I never finished it.
Hey, there's also options where he kills his family instead.
Okay, good. As long as there's a happy ending.
More dead Brits. always a happy ending.
If platforms were smart, they would have simply made it so that all the studios had to compete for space on their platforms. Like you have to get like a certain number of views or a certain number of likes in order to make it to like Netflix Prime, at which point we actually pay you to a little bit of money for the views that you get. Before that, you have to pay us in order to put your stuff on our platform.
Literally, though, that would require the platforms and studios be 2 separate things, and then we're just like recreating TV.
That's true.
All over
well, they're
again.
not anymore because now everyone has their. Now there's Paramount Plus is the latest one to come out, right?
No, but it's fine.
Okay, I'm behind. I don't know.
The Weird Al movie being on the Roku channel fucking broke me. I was like, I'm not going to get the Roku channel, you assholes.
I uninstalled that when I bought the Roku TV, okay?
You didn't want to live in Roku City?
Oh.
It's not just the studios that are the problem. And Chris, this is why I really, really wanted to have you on or rather, I couldn't envision a better person to have on for this story. And it is the discourse around the Blonde movie that is coming out. It's starring our beloved Angel Ana de Armas, but it is rated NC-17. Oh no. It's coming out to Netflix. What are we to do? How are we supposed to consume it if it doesn't look like a quippy, banter-filled movie, Chris? What are we to do?
Well, eventually you're going to get the Joss Whedon version of Blonde, so don't fret on that.
Where everyone seems like overly sterile, but he's actually sexually harassing all of the cast and crew behind the camera.
Yeah. The guy and Cyborg's there, and he's just having a bad time. And
hey, the groping happens behind the camera, not in front of it. That's how I like my movies, says the audience everywhere. God. Yeah, people are mad that Blonde is. Let's see here. There is a fan reaction. Yeah, The review says the most disrespectful and offensive movie I've ever seen. This director has just started a war. If you love watching porn, this is for you. She's basically a sex toy and constantly manipulated by various men. She's topless in nearly all of the scenes in the second half of the film. It's painfully higher than normal. Like the director wants to see her topless deliberately.
I do too. What?
Oh no, please no. Oh God, no.
This movie, gross. Ugh.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what? And what movie was this? Is Blonde?
Looking at boobs are gay.
I don't want to be.
Hey, if other men want to look at them and you want to look at them, that means gay.
But getting mad at a Marilyn Monroe movie because it sexualizes Marilyn Monroe and is then giving a commentary, undoubtedly, on that sexualization, but then getting mad that she is being sexualized in the movie really makes it feel like this person does not understand like how cinema works unless it's spoon-fed to them. Like, again, like an NC-17 rating,
or how examining that like through the lens of that sexuality, like what that means for the people that were around her, because Marilyn Monroe is only a point of interest because of all the powerful people that she like interacted with.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that like it's a persona, you know, that a real woman put on because it was more palatable. I'm fascinated by the idea of this movie, and I think Mr. Armis is going to be able to pull it off wonderfully. I also think she looks completely the part, so I'm very excited for it to actually come out. But to get mad at a film because, oh no, there's like sex stuff in it, like it feels like we're trying to bring back 1950s movies where it's like, why can't they also show them sleeping in separate beds and going to church on Sundays like they're supposed to?
It's just realistic.
I like my Marilyn Monroe movies to have the same like sensibilities as Leave It to Beaver. That's what I want.
I like my Marilyn Monroe movies have the same sensibilities as me and my wife have, because we also sleep in separate bedrooms. What? That's not normal?
It's not a sign of a broken marriage? What are you talking about? No.
It really is interesting that we seem to be trying to bring back the Hays Code, and it seems to coincide with the rise of the Marvel movies and the Marvelization and the content. Like everything's gonna be content now, and you're not watching stuff to be to critique it and even maybe grow as a human being. It's like, no, this is just like something between like looking at your phone and you're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let me text Barbara about the roast. I don't know.
I hadn't even thought of that. If someone is on their phone and then like looks up and doesn't know the context for like a sexual assault scene taking place, and then being like, I can't believe they would show this. Why would they do this in this movie? Don't they understand how triggering it is? In an NC-17 movie, yeah, I have a feeling they probably knew what they when again, because for anyone missing out, Netflix wanted this film to be R. Like they wanted it to be R because they were hoping to try and do awards buzz for it, and the director said no, it's staying NC-17, which is like, oh, so like you're drawing your line in the sand to try and tell a particular story that can only be told a certain way with a certain rating. Okay. Like it all seems purposeful. It isn't shock value.
Do you remember the Cuties controversy? It's very similar to that.
Oh my God!
No one watched the film, but everyone had an opinion on it.
About everyone pretended to care about what was it, like a girls' tumbling team or something?
Yeah, it's like the whole movie was critiquing the very sexualization of girls that age and like living in that kind of world, like that's what they face today. And everyone's like, no, actually, like it's like actually doing that thing. It's like clearly you have no media literacy anymore to understand the message that like sometimes a movie can show bad stuff on screen to explain like why that stuff is bad.
So I think the thing that you're assuming is they have no media literacy. That the counterpoint that I'm going to bring up is literally all of the war porn that is produced and consumed every year by quote unquote American patriots who really believe that we have to see the nitty gritty of war in order to understand it.
Hey, now, I also watched all of The Terminal List starring Chris Pratt on Amazon Prime. And boy, let me tell you, the Airport Dad novel is back. Like, it is like War Porn, the TV series. It's like, you won't believe all these elites that are in control of our media. It's bad, I tell you. I just love Jesus and guns inexplicably. And no gray area of anything. Like, there's no like complex individuals in it. It's the same people arguing about Game of Thrones in my mind.
100%.
Is like, what was that? What was that?
Huh? I'm not arguing about Game of Thrones.
Oh, no. It's fine. It's fine. Like, history will vindicate you. I'm sure about it.
Rings of Power is also a fine film. Like,
look at the people agreeing with you about Game of Thrones being excessive, and then tell me you were in the right, please.
Oh, God.
It's you and like streamers who binge watch 6 seasons while also on their phone, being like, yeah, it didn't seem like it actually had like that many arcs to it, and I didn't really mind the fact that it was so rushed at the end.
I only started halfway through, in order to because I already, you already get all the good stuff. Like there's only like 3 big things that happen like in seasons 1 through 4, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Only 3 major plot points
like,
to occur.
Like someone gets pushed out of a window. There's a wedding, and like the little kid dies.
That also sounds like you're describing like a mid-aughts Matthew McConaughey film. Like, the story of a little boy who fell out of a window and wasn't able to attend his stepmom's wedding, and then his death brought the whole family together. Coming soon on Christmas. It's just weird to me about how kind of keying in a little bit with what you were talking about, Chris. People assume that a main character is automatically a protagonist, like, and therefore a good guy. Whereas, like, someone can be the main focus of a film, can be the protagonist, but they can be a bad person, or they can be a complicated person. Similarly, like, the people that are around them can also be multifaceted. Like, they might not always be good people, but they could be like their friends. And that's like where the complexities and all of that kind of murkiness lies. And I have a feeling people just kind of bizarrely, they wanted like a movie that's the hard-hitting real story of Marilyn Monroe, or an artistic interpretation of Marilyn Monroe's psyche, to be just that image of Marilyn Monroe standing over the crate with all the steam rising up. Like, they wanted that playful 1950s, 1960s vibe, and not like the realness that happened, or the vibe of that.
Did you read the story? Like, it was like a couple of weeks ago on Twitter that came out that like Marilyn Monroe was actually really crusty when she was married to Arthur Miller. Like,
famous like Dirt Queen. Yeah. She was just. I mean, some people might say like the original E-girl as a vibe, just living in squalor and filth, even if it was self-imposed, but still being like. If I don't watch Blonde and come out thinking she just like me for real, then they did not film the real Marilyn Monroe. I'm gonna watch Zach just putting on a little mole. Platinum blonde Zach.
Look, there's enough here to get lots of platinum blonde. Okay, all right. We're gonna have fucking teased out all the way, and then be like, wow. Def Leppard to be like, no, Marilyn Monroe.
Very confused. They like. I appreciate the discussion you will bring about in your workplace.
Oh God, yeah. It's also kind of. I don't know if y'all have seen this, but like Breaking Bad is like people are like a lot of people are rewatching Breaking Bad right now.
I mean, it's because Better Call Saul is just ending, so people are then
That's true. Okay,
being like, oh, okay, Breaking Bad,
yeah,
like, or now that it's all over, let me start it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's the same reason people are rewatching Game of Thrones as for House of the Dragon. Okay. But again, it's people who I feel bad saying this. I don't think they have the taste of knowing how to handle complex media in
It's
a real
complex media
fashion.
that like challenges their assumptions is what it has to be, right? Because
Well, I'm not even saying like it's complicated because I don't want to make it seem like, oh no, like this is real cinema and like this is real art. No, it's just not baby food that's spoon fed to you in a way that you can be like half asleep and not miss anything. It like people grew up on NCIS procedurals and then Marvel movies, and then they're thinking like, I am ready and I understand like the whole concept of a conflicted antihero because it's a good guy who's kind of an asshole. Like, no, you just watched House on Fox and then like thought you got it. You dumb fuck.
comparing House to like Seven Psychopaths.
Yeah, it's really someone who's like, yeah, I saw Daredevil, the 2004 film. I think I'm ready for Colin Farrell in Bruges next. Yeah, that's the vibe I want to go for.
What's this style out? Okay, sure, why not? Give it a whirl.
Oh, this truly is a Captain America New World Order. Famous line from the film, I think, that takes place.
They say the name of the film in the film. Yeah. We all know how that works. So why didn't they say Little Women in the film Little Women?
I'm sure they did.
They do.
What wasn't that like what the dad called his girls? Be like,
Bob
you
Odenkirk.
are my little women. Bob Odenkirk as the dad in Little Women.
Yeah, no,
Flawless.
that's a true fact.
What?
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk's the dad in Little Woman, and he says, "Well, if it isn't my little woman, or something like that, this is that. You guys guessed it completely right."
My God. Okay. See, I didn't see the newest version of Little Women, the 2019 one. But wow.
Hilton, you were just writing the vibe of Hollywood.
On the
plugged
pulse.
in.
Just out
The
here.
Matrix. Yeah, I'm on the cutting edge of Hollywood, aka Hollywood 3 years ago. Yeah, pump that shit in my veins.
It's just it's we need better media.
Do we?
Yeah,
we?
like
Is
the Psychic Dolphin Garage, your favorite podcast.
Beautiful. Everyone, please ask us questions. Leave us a voicemail. We got an interesting question. It's one that I think we already all know the answer to, but they ask, how long until Charles joins his mother in colonizing hell?
His soul's already there. His body is just been left behind.
Yeah, little Prince Sausage Fingers will be arriving soon enough. Like little weenies is how I envision each of those fingers getting chomped off by a demon. So
I hope he starts ballooning more like that girl in Willy Wonka, and like nobody can comment on it. Like when he walks in, he's just as big as a house. So like, yes, of course, your throne, sir. And he's just like, go get
what a
him.
strapping lad, they say as he's floating to the top of the ceiling, trying to hide all the sharp objects for fear he'll pop and start spinning all around Buckingham Palace. Prince Charles, also known as the human weather balloon, was released to float off into space.
He needs to go fast enough so that Prince William doesn't get any uglier because 40s are not looking great on him.
My man is aging like milk. Remember, there was a time when Prince William was considered the hot one, and we see how that's going.
I mean, if you are also a 55-year-old woman and you're pursuing this pinnacle of like a dad in his prime, that's what Prince William is. Like, I want to see His Royal Highness in Crocs and grilling on a fucking. What day did they play cricket in England? Is that like Thursdays? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm an American. Why would I know that?
Yeah.
We'll find out on the next season of Ted Lasso or whatever the fuck ends up coming out.
Well, I think that does it for the episode.
Yeah. So now, Chris, tell people where to find you. Tell people what you want them to stalk you on, like I do all the time.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at @DropChrisMurphy, and you can see. And then I write for Collider, as Kelton said earlier, so you can find some of my articles there. That's about it.
Well, fantastic. As for the podcast itself, just tell your friends about us. As I'm sure everyone already knows, we have a Patreon. Rate us on iTunes and Spotify. All that lovely, fun stuff. Until next time, goodbye.